So when we talk about the media we want, we also talk about immersive experiences, VR, and also a little bit about video games. And next to me there's Brice Puls. You here at the Medientage in München to present a very immersive way of feeling like a journalist. So maybe you can tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I am the developer of a project called Frame Switch. It's a collaboration between the Video Game Art Gallery in Chicago, Illinois, and the Medientage Museum in Doha, Qatar. And it's essentially an experience in which you get to be put into an actual conflict or protest or interview, an actual scenario that a journalist has gone out and captured in 360-degree video, but then you get to act as a citizen journalist with your phone of somebody who'd be at this event recording and posting things to their social media accounts or whatnot. And it's about what you choose to record and what you choose not to record. So how are you going to create your own story or your own narrative within this thing that's happening all around you?
So if you talk about VR gaming or VR experiences, on what state of VR are we at the moment? Are we very, very close to the beginning, or is it just hitting the mass market?
We're still relatively close to the beginning. I believe that things like the Oculus Rift, the Oculus Quest that just recently released, things that don't require, $1,000 computers or big fancy smartphones, things that are accessible. I think that that's going to be what actually takes off this market and allows everybody to experience VR situations and VR scenarios, as opposed to just like the hardcore gamers or creating these arcades where people go to play them.
So when I set up my VR device at home, it's a really big goggles and cables and whatever. And then I looked up, I watched a movie, Ready Player One, where they have this like the ski goggles.
Yeah, the Star Trek visor.
Yeah, the Star Trek visor. So will this be the future someday? And how long? How far away are we from that? What do you think?
I think it'll eventually be the future. I think that we are relatively far away from it, maybe another 10 years or 15 years or so. It's still a relatively niche audience. It's very exciting and popular just because it's a cool thing to try out, but definitely just the basics of trying to get like that much computation power into something so small that like my mom would be okay putting it on as opposed to a giant wire cap or whatever. I think that that's going to be the big step of just waiting until it's powerful enough and cheap enough and has a good enough battery that we can sell these things and get them out into a market where anyone would be interested in picking one up.
Yeah, but keeping that in mind, so we have a very early stage of technology, we have a very niche market, and then you're developing a game. How easy is it to find partners to finance that content, or how easy is it to develop the content with all these prototyping?
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot of enthusiasm for these projects, and so being able to go out and find people to collaborate with, or people are willing to fund it, is a relatively healthy market right now. It's not easy, but it's definitely not as difficult as it used to be. But being able to actually have people go out there and then try those experiences is kind of the hard thing. Is just trying to figure out how that market works out and how people are actually going to be able to actually come and play these things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brice Puls, for being here.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.